Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Maybe it's afternoon, not quite. I have a particular role here this morning. Please. So it says, I'm going to give you an update on the 2025 annual fund campaign. And you know, Janet Prill, still junior Warden, I should say. But I'm going to take 1 minute for a couple of comments on my colleague Stan. I have had the pleasure of working with Stan for 3 years now as junior warden. And it has been such an incredible honor and privilege because to work with a person, a leader who is so steady, so steadfast, has such trustworthiness, and does it all with so much grace. It's been a really great experience to be in this role with you as a partner, Stan, and I appreciate that. So this is my role today on the 2 campaigns, Annual Fund and Inspired by Love. It's the synergy, as Peter mentioned during his address this morning, of the clergy, the staff, and all the people in the parish that energizes the church and all the ministries. It's together that we power the mission of this parish. There's a special group of people who has worked incredibly hard on this campaign, and that is Nancy Walton, our Director of Stewardship and Development, and the fine team that she has put together. Very dedicated professionals from across the segments of our parish, comprised of Elise Armstrong, Lauren Clancy, Callie Creighton, Robert Greaves, John Harrison, and Peter Ryan. We have a strong representation across, but we tried also to have a number of people from younger households. This strategy of having a team with continuity across multiple years was one that we learned from the Inspired by Love campaign. And we've really been seeing the benefits of their experience now over 2 campaigns, in learning how to communicate effectively across the parish, what people in the parish need to know, understand, from the early communications of the campaign through now to the follow-up. So we owe them a lot of gratitude for their work on this, and they've had a very successful campaign, which we'll now get into a little bit of detail on. Please look at the left in terms of the goals for the 2025 annual campaign. $1.85 million in support of St. Mark's annual operating budget and 325 households, which would get us back to actually where we were in 2019 before the pandemic. The pledges and contributions fund every ministry of this parish, the lion's share going to worship, music, and spiritual growth, followed by daily operations, outreach, pastoral care, and children and youth, as you can see on the chart on the left. Some people are surprised to learn that St. Mark's is fully self-funded, and you can see the income sources for 2024. A whole 69% came from our contributions to the annual fund, 18% from endowments, and that's an endowment draw we take from the endowments and trusts, and that is getting bigger because of the recent contributions of the Inspired by Love pledges. 13% comes from facility usage and general donations that come throughout the year. Pledging does matter. As you can see, the annual fund covers such a significant percentage of the annual operating budget. It is an important aspect of our funding. It also provides a reliable revenue forecast to the vestry, who we charge with making decisions on budget and other funding decisions. In addition, strong pledging participation and a solid forecast enables the clergy and the staff to focus on ministry, which is really where we want their focus to be. In terms of results to date, we have received 317 pledges as of last Monday, and that's on a goal of 325. We are so close, and we are so pleased with the response from the parish. This is a dollar amount of $1,677,000. And I'd like to compare that with our 2024 results, where we had 264 pledges received for $1,381,000. And note that that's a 21% increase, both in number of households pledging and in the dollar amount. That's pretty great, and thank you. Note also 42% of pledgers increased their commitment for 2025, and 21% are new or returning pledgers, people who may not have pledged over the past 3 years. Now, this is a really beautiful chart, but it's very busy. So stay with me while I walk you through these bar charts. The left chart shows the dollar amounts given, both in pledges and contributions. The right chart, which we'll get to after, shows the number of giving households. So on the dollar amounts chart, okay. Oh man, okay, here we go. Starting in 2019, you'll see we had a drop off in pledging during the pandemic. We showed progress in the ensuing years, as you'll see with the green bar, in overall giving. But we were very concerned with this multi-year drop in pledge amounts. And so concerned by this trend, last year we launched our effort to communicate the importance of pledging to the financial health of the parish. On the right-hand side, this is a different color because it's a forecast bar. But you'll see the red part is the pledges received is 21% higher overall, with the green as well over last year. Now on the right, notice this is the number of households pledging. And we, again, from 2019 in the pandemic, saw a decline of pledging households. This was pandemic, people were not coming to church. We also saw the trend of more young families moving out of New York, coming to the suburbs, joining our parish, etc. And while contributions rose during this time, pledging continued to decrease. But we are so gratified by the response of the parish to the messaging of how important pledging is. As I said, to the financial health of the parish, more young families are pledging now, and it is making a significant difference to our financial health. This has been incredibly good news for St. Mark's in our ability to make budget and to plan, and we want to give a hearty thank you to everyone. It's gratifying that the message of the critical nature of pledging has really resonated, and people are responding with pledging up 21%. The endowment draw from the endowments and trusts, and this is, I mentioned before, with more inspired by a lot of funds kicking in, was $474,000 in 2024. And as you'll hear more from Tim, we predict that will be $505,000 in this year. All in all, we have felt a great deal of positive energy coming through this campaign. We're grateful and we're hopeful that we can meet our goal and that we can build on this. I'd like to switch gears now to give you an update on the Inspired by Love campaign. As you'll recall, this was a campaign that started in 2022 with an aggressive goal of $7.5 million for the church. And it was led by a campaign team, and I'm going to call out these people who worked hard over a couple of years on this: Brian Hetherington, Suzanne Harrison, Tom Berardino, Don Palmer, and myself. But here we are in 2025, and it is the fourth year in a capital campaign payout. The very, very good news is the amount of money received to date, which you see on the screen, $5,549,000, is 74% of the total pledged. And given that we're 3 years in and a 4-year payout campaign, that's tracking, very appropriately. The pledge balance is approximately 27%, or a little over $2 million. So we are in a good place, but $2 million is a significant sum, and so it deserves the vestry's attention, and it's important that we communicate to everyone that the church is counting on this money for the endowment as well as capital projects, which may be down the road, and it's really important for us to follow this through. Along those lines, we thought it would be informative for you to see how the capital funds that we have received to date have been put to good use here in the church. And so, as you see, the vestry voted that 2/3 of the monies would be put in the endowment and 1/3 could be used for capital projects. So of the $5.5 million received to date, that's about $1.85 million. And so we're showing you in 3 different areas of the campus where these monies have gone. The church, Gray Gables, and the church office, and around the campus. In the church, the sound system has been replaced. The reredos has been restored. The stained glass windows, I think, are still in process of being restored. The organ, the boiler, and the roof have all undergone repairs. The bell tower, major repairs, indoor air quality improvements, and the lighting renovation project, not yet kicked off, but being studied for an upcoming project. In Gray Gables and the church office, a total HVAC overhaul, which was much needed, adding central air conditioning, converted the heat, replaced the boiler, all the mechanicals. And I have heard that this amount of work and these changes basically saved the building. Attic insulation, asbestos abatement, and other water damage repairs. And around the campus, IT upgrades for communications and security, new website and visual identity, paving on the north driveway, an installation of a pergola in the courtyard in conjunction with the preschool, asbestos abatement and carpeting, capital repairs to clergy housing, and the list goes on. So what are the action items for us? Since this is the final year of the campaign, we decided this would be a good time to kick off our communications efforts to remind everyone about Inspired by Love and all the great things that those monies are doing in our parish. A letter will follow to those households that have balances for the IBL campaign, and they're also shown on all the giving statements in addition to annual fund. So this is an important project for the year for the parish to have a successful close to Inspired by Love. In conclusion, a most sincere thank you to everyone in the parish who has made pledges or contributions to the annual fund campaign, to Inspired by Love, and most of all for your participation in the life of this parish. Thank you for supporting our vibrant community.